Actually, now we are live. We are on camera, guys. Welcome to BCTV podcast, episode number 11 with special guest NilssonAlex92. I hope you are all well. I am having a fantastic day. We're not going to have a big, long introduction because we're only going to have an hour today, so I'm just going to get on with it. We'll first off, Nilsson Alex, he's been a friend of mine since pretty much since I started Twitch, man. He's done charity events with me. He's done, just hangs out in my stream. I hang out in his stream. He's a cool dude. I love him. Alex, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I'm really glad to have you on the podcast. We'll just go around the room here. Dark, how you doing, man?
I am well.
Awesome.
Got to make sure you ain't put no bullshit by my name again.
No, look, it just says your name.
Uh-huh.
I'm
watching.
I only put bullshit by Alex's name today, so all the bullshit's on Alex for now.
Oh my God.
Until we get on later. Gal, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. It's wonderful to be back again with you all.
It's great. It's great. So we're a host short today. We were going to have Paul from That Family Games on, but he's a little tired out. They were up late last night celebrating 1 year on Twitch and 700 followers. So good for them. It was a fun celebration. I was there for a lot of it, but yeah, he's kind of tuckered out. So I told him, yeah, you don't have to stream or you don't have to be on the podcast.
Understandable.
It's all good. I'm not I'm not a hard ass like that. He doesn't have to come on if he doesn't feel up to it. But let's get on with the show here. Alex, man, you have been you've been a wonderful friend to me, man. I'm really happy to have you on the podcast. Alex is a retro streamer. He's a speedrunner. He does randomizer things. He's a dick, and he's also been in a lot of charity events with me. So he's done a lot. You've done a lot, man. So let me ask you this. We'll just start with your origin story, man. How did you get started retro gaming? Let's just start from the very beginning. How did you get started in this stuff?
Well, I mean, if you mean Twitch in general?
We could start with Twitch or just how you got started getting into maybe even speedrunning or retro gaming or, start wherever you think the beginning is appropriate.
Well, I mean, I started out watching Twitch back in 2017. Mm-hmm. I did YouTube back in the day, YouTube partner. And I was bored with the community over there. It was just like trolls, toxic people, comments with like, "Oh, you suck," going fucking all that shit. So I was like, well, let's go to Twitch and
huh?
Check it out. And I was just browsing games, and I don't know really.
Well, that's okay, man.
I found somebody playing Link to the Past. Mm-hmm. I don't know how I ended up there. Yeah. I was just browsing through game after game after game. Mm-hmm. I was like, people actually playing this on Twitch in 2017. I was like, wait, what? Then I was starting to watch other people, and I was like, I found someone played the randomizer of it, and I was like, why is Mario in Zelda? I was like,
right.
I didn't know what the hell it was. I was like so confused.
I did a double take the first time I saw somebody playing a randomizer too. They're playing, I think maybe it even might have been you playing as one of the Ninja Turtles in Link to the Past. It's like, what?
I found it through that and was like, well, that was my main goal. Start playing randomizers.
Okay.
Because Link to the Past is my favorite video game of all time. Like
Great
when it comes to at least the retro games. Mm-hmm. And
such a good game.
Great game.
It is.
I'm really the only one who's never played it at all.
You never even played it at all?
Man.
No, hell no.
Well,
I know I'm a bad gamer, but damn.
He's like, hell no.
All
Fuck
about those
that
experiences,
shit.
so you can have it.
That's what I love about Dark, man. Here, let's talk about something everybody loves. Dark's always like, fuck that. That shit sucks.
I got controversial opinions over here.
That's all right.
It's fine, but
it's good to have a hot take.
That's how I found it, like Twitch in general, and I started to follow people. I found Goomba Troomba. It was his old name, at least, on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
And through him, I met Traz, and everybody knows Traz.
Oh, yeah. That guy.
Yes.
That guy.
He's from Australia, I hear.
Yeah, something like that.
Somewhere
I'm still not sure. He might be from Switzerland.
Or something like that. Yeah.
He's a dick as well.
Yeah.
You better watch him, man. He's going to come to the States and slap you like he did Pulse.
He probably will.
I think it's from Trust I started to know everybody.
Yeah.
Hamsh, I started to learn met you in like January 2018.
Yeah.
Marin, and like it just kept on going. And then we started to have the DGDS crew, and got sucked into that.
Right.
And that's when I started to meet Captain Dark, Charmmonk, Gal.
Yeah.
So it just kept on going. And that's when I started. I was just mainly doing like playthroughs of like random video games. So the point was like, I never really thought about speedrunning in general. I was like, nope, I'm not going to speedrun anything. Okay. So I was just playing video games that I was like grew up with.
So you just started doing casual.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then somehow I started speedrun video games and sucked into it, and now I'm back to playing casual playthroughs. So I'm jumping between them.
Okay, interesting. So you like a different aspects of the retro gaming. So it seems like you started on YouTube, and you didn't like the community there, and then you came over to Twitch, and you met. Sounds like a really, a whole bunch of awesome people. You named Traz, you named You Got Marin, you named Goomba, and Hampsh, and and then you got going in the DGDS. So you started with the charity thing. Yeah, and we met in January, which that means I was streaming about a month when you and I met. So I mean, really, really early on. When did you say you started on Twitch? I 2017?
As a streamer in 2017 December, like after Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit after then, he got into DGDS.
Yeah.
Because I think I came around. See, I think I came around DGDS around the second or third one. It's probably the third one. Because
I was part of like the fourth one.
So I was part of the third. Well, when were you? Because you asked me. I remember putting in my games. I was like, they were like, "Why do you want to do when you did the application?" But I'm pretty sure you remember. It's like, "Why do you want to do the charity?" I was like, "Fuck if I know. I just want to help people." But obviously, I couldn't put that. They wouldn't. I wouldn't get in if I put some shit like that. But
actually, you might have.
I don't know. What am I supposed to put? I'm doing this just to help people. No, but seriously. Then Alex, I get a message from Alex. This is how I met Alex. So I get a message from Alex talking about I had put in Yoshi's Story. 64?
I remember this.
See, he's like, "Is that an RPG game?" I'm like, "The fuck?" I seriously have to question myself for a minute. It's like, did you really just ask me, is Yoshi's Story an RPG?
Hey, to be fair, to my defense, somebody else asked me when we were going through the games, is that an RPG? And I had to ask because I've never played it myself.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's got the word story in it. And
I know.
But hold on, and did it come out before or after Super Mario RPG? I don't know.
That's a good question. See, now I got to look that up.
After.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was after
because
Super Mario
then
RPG.
that would track. I mean, logically, it would be not really a bad question.
Super Mario. Okay, so Super Mario RPG is what on the SNES. It's a SNES game, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so it came out after because it's a 64 game. Yoshi's Story is.
Yeah, exactly. So.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of Super Mario World 2. I thought that was Yoshi's Story.
You're thinking of Yoshi's Island, I think.
That's
Island,
okay. That's okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about Yoshi's Story where you play as Yoshi. Okay. Sorry, Carl. Yeah. But you play as Yoshi with different color. You got different color Yoshis that you go around, and it's like you kind of going through a little book because Bowser Jr. Stole the love. I think it was the love tree. He stole the love tree, and you got to go fight Bowser Jr. and stuff like that. It's actually kind of fun.
Sounds like an RPG. Mm-hmm.
I think low-key it is, but it's more of an adventure the way they put it because it's really short.
Oh sure,
it's like it's like 6 chapters. It's like I managed to beat it on stream, but I really had to question Alex for a minute. I was like, what?
I mean, somebody else asked me, so I had to ask you because I was like, I don't know. I
feel like
the guy that's actually playing the game.
I felt like he came to attack me ever since then. Every other one I joined, I was like, man. I asked the same question about Dragon Seeds too.
Yeah.
so anytime Dark was gonna enter, it's gonna be like hashtag, is it an RPG?
Oh, right.
I still feel bad though, because I could really tell that he was like, am I actually going to do an intro for this guy? He was like,
So you
it was actually fun. I actually enjoyed my very first time on DGDS. It was amazing. It's actually what made me come back because of Nilsson's questioning. Because I was like, now I was like, man, now I want to fuck with this guy. That's really how I felt. I was a lot younger, but I was like, man, I really want to fuck with this guy now.
Well, I mean, they got the people to come back, so I mean, I'm happy with that. So
yeah,
it did, and we doing DGDS, everybody got to support great causes, and we raised a lot of money.
Yeah,
for all the charities. So you can't really say anything bad about it.
A lot of fun memories of those days. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still remember when Bud was ripping off his shirt.
Oh, God.
I just had to tell this story. Do I have to tell it again?
It's time to go shirtless.
Do I have to take my shirt off? My shirt never came off.
Bud started the hot tub trend. Bud was trying to start the hot tub trend.
That's
it.
Yeah. the hot trend of the hot tub trend. Yeah. I should get a hot tub and start doing hot tub streams in my
please
don't
do that. Don't. No. I don't want to see your hairy nipples.
I'll get one of those early 20th century one piece bathing suits that men used to wear. I'll get a handlebar mustache and
Bud's gonna walk in the stream.
It'd be stripes and shit. I'll start lifting
Beer belly
medicine balls and shit like that. Yeah. So Alex, man, so you said when you first moved over from YouTube to Twitch, you were kind of doing casual, and then you kind of went and said you just kind of ended up doing speedruns. Was there any precursor to the speedrun, or was it just like you were like looking at other speedrunners and saying, you know what, I could do this, and you already knew Link to the Past very well? So is that where you started with Link to the Past, or was it something else, or how did that? I
started with speedrun Tekken 3 actually.
Tekken 3.
Tekken 3.
Yeah.
Wow. Fighting game. Okay.
I just found I found it on speedrun.com that people were speedrun Tekken. I was like, well, I'm pretty good at Tekken. And sure.
How are you now?
Well, it's been a few years, but I'm third actually in that game. So
that's not bad.
Nah, I ain't trying to hear that. Run me my fade in 7 though.
Well, I'm gonna speedrun Tekken 3 to be honest. Like the other Tekken games is like way gone.
Yeah.
People are too good at those games. I'm just not going to do it.
Just stick to the Tekken 3. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you go from there?
I went to Turtles, the first one.
Okay.
That one.
Now we're in familiar territory with me. I'm used to seeing you play Turtles. Yeah.
I actually started out with that. That's one of the first game I beat on stream actually, but it took me 40 days to beat it. 40 days.
That's a hard game. I'm not surprised. I've never beat it.
No, what made you? Oh, go ahead.
Well, it's one of those games I had as a kid. Well, I grew up with the game.
Sure.
My uncle had it for the NES, so I was like, well, let's try it again because I never beat it as a kid. I never went through the dam level because, well, everybody knows that one. So.
That level is hard to get through first time.
Yeah.
I had I'm gonna have to interrupt Bud here because I told him I would interrogate Nilsson. But I had a game like that that it took me forever to fucking beat, dude. It was Quest 64 or Holy Magic Century for people thinking the EU. Holy Magic Century / Quest 64. I fucking hate that game. But it was one of like my first games on the Nintendo 64. I remember this besides Super Mario 64, of course.
Right.
Super Mario 64 was my first one. But I remember going to the pawn shop when I was a kid. My mother grabbed Super Mario 64 because she was about to grab me like a sports game. And I was like, hell no. But I see, of course, everybody see it as a kid, right? You see Super Mario 64, you got Mario with the wing cap on and flying.
That was so cool.
So I grabbed that.
Yeah.
I beat that, of course, get the I was looking for my next game. Mama buys me Quest 64. Fuck that game. It took me years to beat that game. Years. But my question is to you, because of that, and you said it took you 40 days to beat Turtles. So what made you start really wanting to speed run it? After
I actually had one like a speed run in the channel that would help me out, guiding me through the game.
Like one of your mods, or?
No, he was like it came from a mod, Super Piccolo. It's my most like dedicated mod I have.
Okay.
Yeah, he came through him.
I know Super Piccolo.
He started following me, so he started to help me out with the game. So that's how I started to get into the speedrunning community, kind of. I started to learn some tips and tricks, but it took me like 6 months to actually start speedrunning the game.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What was the moment you decided that you wanted to speedrun it, go from the casual to the speedrun? Was there something that
I think it became after I started speedrun Tekken 3 in general. I started to feel like there's something here that I'm enjoying.
Okay.
Like the speedrunning mentality. Like I've done esports gaming before through FIFA, the soccer game or football game, whatever you want to call it. So it's like in my territory of like competing in a video game.
Okay.
So that's why I started to feel like speedrunning is my thing.
Very cool.
Well, the interesting thing about speedrunning is, I mean, with, plotting out a path and having stuff, there's usually a lot of there's a certain amount of expectation as you're going through the speedrun. You're like, okay, this is how this is going to go. But with randos, there's like a whole other element that's added to that because you don't really know. Like you could kind of have a certain idea where items might pop up, but there's a certain level of you're not really sure whether it is. So like, for instance, when we're watching Link to the Past, there's a debate over whether, it's going to be a pedestal or whether there's going to be something else going on. Like, how does that play into it, like specifically on the rando side to like how that like kind of upends the speedrun expectation? Was that something that kind of drew you to Link to the Past, especially on the rando side?
I think
like kind of not knowing how it's going?
I think the most never really started out doing competitive rando. Like it took me a year before I started to try it out. I was just mainly playing it on my own channel by myself, having people watching and stuff like that because I didn't know the game that well. Well, I knew the game, but there were so many new spots that you never go to in in the normal game, and it just became a thing later on. I was like, I want to try this there was daily races of speed gaming where you could race 80 people.
Oh wow!
I was like, let's see what happens.
Were those randos that you were doing?
Yeah,
that was randos. Now, when you in the transition from the speedrun to doing randomizers, was there anything you did before you started randomizers to prepare? I mean, did you just kind of go over game guides? Did you just kind of play the game a bunch, just kind of learn every nook and cranny of the game, and then go and start doing randomizers to help out, or did you just kind of jump in with both feet and just start doing them once you decided that was the thing to do?
I jumped in first, did my first one, but I had to split it up in 3 streams in general because I couldn't. I went lost. I didn't know where to go.
Sure.
But I had to become.
So you did it live, okay?
Yeah, I did. I did it live. I was I was so sure that I was being able. I can blast through this game.
Right.
It's just randomized. We can't be that bad.
Right.
And yeah, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I fucked up. But I think I watched more on speed game channels. All the tournaments, all the top tier players. I was watching all of them, how they route a seed, and you can go to this place and you find that item. Because typically, just how you route the game, and then I was like, well, I want to do this, and I was playing a lot of offline, and then online.
Okay.
Jumping between both of them.
Yeah,
I've done.
Go ahead, Dart.
Oh, to me it seems like those randos would be hard. They
are hard.
Just because it's man. You got to remember where everything is, or at least where all the chests are, and then where things can be or potentially be. Then you got to run around. If the item isn't there, I know you need certain items to complete certain dungeons, like you need the fire rod or whatever it is, throw the flames to light the torches and stuff like that. Man, I always looked at that when I seen you doing the little races and stuff. I'm like, man, there's no way I could fucking do this. There's no way I could do this.
Right.
There's multiple times that I've been like, why am I doing this? When I'm in a race, I'm sitting to tell myself, why am I doing this? Why? Because sometimes I have a good feeling going into a race and I feel like, oh, well, this is going to be, I'm going to smash this race and whatnot. And then when you're actually playing it, when you actually start the race, I'm just sitting there being like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. Things have a way of never going the way you expect them to go, and well, I mean, really in anything, but yeah, especially when it's something like that. And now, when you do the races, do you get the? Because I know, forgive me, because I don't know that much about the randomizers. I do know you work off of different seeds, and I'm assuming that everybody in the race is using the same seed. Do you ever know ahead of time what the seed is going to be, or is it you just kind of get thrown and here's your seed, run it, go, and you're in it?
You always know the end goal. You need, if you need to defeat Ganon, or if you just need to collect all the crystals, or whatever. So you always have, you know the base goal of a seed.
Sure.
But you never know how it will pan out.
Right.
So if you need to do every single dungeon of the game, or, it's just straightforward, it's a jet seed, you can beat it in 1 hour. It's so hard to tell from seed to seed.
Okay.
Actually, if anything, it's really interesting because there have been plenty of times I've watched you, Alex, and you'll get a seed and at first it starts off really well. You're getting a lot of good drops. Things are really there. And then towards the tail end, it's you're only finding like arrows or bombs or something, and you just have this like real dejected place where it's like, damn, you know, we didn't get something in there. But then there are other seeds where it's like it starts off really rough, like you're not getting anything, and then all of a sudden it like picks up and it's like you can't go wrong. Like everything is just going the way it is. It's just, that's probably the fun thing if I were to say about watching you play, is just how ebbing and flowing the seeds can be. Like you never really know, like you have an inkling. Like I see you even saying, you know, it's either going to be this or this item. Like you can kind of, you know, get an essence of like where it's going to necessarily go. And that's what makes it so interesting, because you just never know what it's going to roll up with. But it could be any chest. It could literally be like the chest that normally you get arrows in, and it gives you a golden sword. Like out of nowhere.
I think that's like the most fun part. Like, like when I started out doing the randos, like on my own channel, I was like being able to sit down and talk to people like I'm doing like now.
Yeah.
But like with the chat, and then I started to do the competitive part, which you're not allowed to sit and talk to your chat.
Sure.
And sure, it was fun to do in that part, and it's still fun to play competitive. But it's a new, like it's a different feeling now. Like I've said it before, and I've mostly said it as a joke, but like it's been going pretty good with the randos. I've been like hitting new highs and also new lows when it comes to it, like in races, tournaments, stuff like that. And I've reached a point where I'm like done for now.
Yeah, kind of a burnout. Does that sound right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you kind of, because you said when we first started, you kind of said you went from doing casual to speedrun to rando, and now you've kind of come full circle and you're back doing casual again. I'm assuming that's probably because of what you were just speaking to. Are you kind of now gearing your stream back towards more? Well, I mean, just the chat interaction, the casual, what we typically think of with a stream. Is this kind of like where you're heading now, or is this kind of maybe a temporary thing, or where do you see that going if you've thought that far ahead?
Well, right now I'm just playing through Final Fantasy X.
You're just enjoying
it. How you loving that?
I was streaming 11 hours yesterday. So I was awake up to like 6 a.m. last night. Well, this morning.
Showing it off.
I got to. If you say it, I got to show it.
But like that's because of a community goal we had with channel points. If they broke that one, I had to play it, because I always, every single year now, I play at least one RPG, because I've had like I've never played one before.
Yeah.
Well, Pokemon, but I don't count that one. I don't count Pokemon as
I would count Pokemon more as an adventure game than an RPG. I get it, you're playing as a Pokemon trainer, so you're role playing, but I would count it more so as an adventure. You're going on an adventure as somebody else, I guess.
Yeah, Pokemon's a fad.
What?
I'm kidding. It's been around since the 90s. Obviously, it's not a fad.
I don't count them as RPGs, because I watched Pokemon when I was a kid.
Sure.
I know grass Pokemons are weak against fire Pokemons. So it's like, you know all that stuff already going into the game.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, you don't really have to think in that game.
Sure.
So I'm like, I don't count as the RPG.
Yeah.
So I started out with Chrono Trigger 2018.
Oh, it's such a good game.
Well, I think
it's the best game.
Now 2019.
No,
last year was Shining Force 2.
Hey.
This year is Final Fantasy X. So it's like I try to at least have one casual stream per year.
So is Shining Force an RPG?
Yeah.
That actually leads me to an interesting question for you, Alex, because I know earlier on when we met like a while back at DGDS and really like got to know each other, I remember you brought at that time, because when I said, you know, I really liked RPGs, you were like, oh goddamn, you know, RPGs, you know, why would you want to play that, you know, kind of thing about it. And at the time, you know, again, you were like, I really, you know, you were adamant with me, I really don't like to play them. And then, you know, when you got to play, you know, Chrono Trigger, you know, a few years ago, and, you know, I was there watching you play it. You know, you were really, you know, were engaged in it. And of course, with Final Fantasy X, you know, Shining Force 2, you're really into, and all those other things. And especially now, you know, you're really getting engaged in Final Fantasy X and stuff like that. You know, has your opinion of RPGs changed? If not, what are things in RPGs specifically that maybe allows you to enjoy them? Like, are there certain things about the genre that stick out to you in certain ways? Just like to know.
There's only one right answer.
I know. Don't put more pressure on me, dude.
Oh no.
No pressure.
No, but seriously, I think I said it most like a joke in the beginning, because I know that people will always play whatever they want. I was just mostly joking around, because I never really put the time.
You're just
and energy
busting
into an
balls
RPG.
like we do. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think it's just like came down to I never played one, and I was like, well, I'm never going to do that on stream because it's boring to watch. Like, I felt like it was boring to watch at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it depends on the streamer as well. If you had a good experience watching somebody that's entertaining, can make the game entertaining, it's good.
RPGs are really tough to pull off on stream. I struggle with them myself. Chardmuck is a prime example of someone who does it well. Yeah. So, go ahead, Dark.
It's or piggybacking off, but like you said, it is pretty hard for a person if you don't have, especially if you don't know what's going on in the game or you really don't show any excitement towards the game. When it comes to RPGs, it is really hard to pull off RPGs, or if you don't really have some type of challenge going on, like speed running. A lot of people speed run Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 10. I'm just throwing it out there because it's popular games.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do speedrun the Final Fantasy series. So that makes it exciting. Like who can get the best time and stuff like that. But it really is hard to pull off. But it's fun.
Yeah.
Especially when you playing a new one or a new RPG in general that you do not know. And it turns out to actually be something that's really good.
New
and
to
that
you
really
RPG.
fits you.
Yeah.
I think that's part with Chrono Trigger. I've been watching people play it throughout the year. I think I've watched you, Bud, play it the first time on Twitch.
Yeah.
I think you're the first one I watched.
It was it was the first game I ever streamed.
Yeah. So I watched you play it and was like, well, this looks kind of interesting to play. Like just like interesting. And I was like, then we had as an incentive on RMW, the first one, like I would play a RPG if we met this certain goal. So I put out a poll of RPGs that was like mentioned, and it was like, here, pick a game. I had to play your fuckers, and I actually literally put it like that, fuckers. I was not happy with that.
So, go ahead.
Chrono Trigger 1. So I played that one. That's my first one I ever played, and I was like, well, start out slow because it starts out slow. I was like, I'm actually got time to play this game. I was like, breathe, Alex. Come on, you can do this. Just suffer through. You did for a good cause.
Nice. Now, if I were to pick a perfect RPG for someone who's never played one, Chrono Trigger would be high on the list. Not just because it's my favorite game, but because it's kind of a way to ease into the genre. It's not as, there's a lot of dialogue, but it's not as grindy as some. And the battle system in Chrono Trigger lends itself better to somebody who's more used to a game like Zelda. It's kind of a hybrid of the Zelda type battle system along with the traditional RPG style, but no random encounters. I love that about it. The graphics are good, and the dual and triple texts and things about it. It's the perfect game.
Well, I'm hearing some bias in there.
Yeah, I think that's also why I liked.
I'm open about my bias. Chrono Trigger.
I think that's why I liked Chrono Trigger, because, like you said, there was no random battles. It was like, oh my god, I need to go through here, and there's a battle here. Next frame is a freaking battle.
Something just and you're in a battle. Yeah, there's none of that. Yeah.
And you really, and honestly, in that game, you really never have to grind. If anything, sometimes I found when I was going through the DS set actually recently, it was interesting because I really wasn't pushing. I was really like running from a lot of different battles and being kind of under level because they have level caps that you have to watch for. And I was amazed at how that actually could work very well, because I was like, this shows how well designed this game is, that even if I'm a few levels behind where I'm supposed to do, if you understand how the game works, that's enough for you. The levels are never the thing that's holding you back. It's just, if you understand enough about it, you can get through. And that was something that Alex, was stumbling when he was going through. It's like, hey, I can enjoy this game very well. I don't need to really grind and everything. That's the thing that usually is the big thing for RPGs and why people don't get into it. Like, I have to sit there for like a half an hour to an hour fighting the same enemies over and over and over and over again.
The
to level and stuff. You didn't have to do it.
That you mentioned right there is why I really didn't like. Well, I didn't want to play an RPG. The grinding. Like, I don't want to spend too much hours on in general, it's like, oh my god, grind up the levels. Like, I didn't want to do that at all. So I was like, well, screw this. And Shining Force 2 was pretty straightforward as well. Like, you didn't really have to grind in that game.
That's what I haven't played.
It's actually Shining Force 1 and 2 are two amazing JRPG games that you really should play. I played them.
My backlog of JRPGs is so freaking huge. There's so many I want to play.
I played them as a I played them as a kid. I remember emulating them on the Genesis, and I was just like Shining Force 1. And so I played that one, you know, and not knowing nothing about it. Turned out I loved it.
Yeah.
And then turned around and played 2. I remember beating 2. I was like, oh shit, 2 was hard. I'm sitting here looking for a 3.
Yeah.
3 turned. I think 3 actually ends up being on the Sega Saturn. So obviously, not when I was a kid. You ain't emulating the Sega Saturn.
No.
Now you can barely do that now, let alone as a kid.
And we only ever got the 3rd scenario here in America. We didn't even get like the whole game.
Right, exactly. So it's like
we're just like, wow, really?
But honestly, I think when it comes to Final Fantasy X now, it's straightforward.
Yeah.
The spear grid where you level up is so easy to understand when you actually sit down and understand it.
If you spend some time with it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like, I was like under-leveled yesterday for some battles, and it was like so easy to grind it up.
Right.
So it was like I wasn't suffering on stream. So that's why. Yeah. That's why I could pull off like 11 hours yesterday.
And it's such a
beautiful
game. It's really easy to play that game. Go ahead,
The funny thing is, that was going to be like a follow-up too, because from what we were talking about Chrono Trigger, I mean, one of the things you talked about was the fact that, you know, grinding too much, you know, that is definitely a big wall to really, you know, getting engaged with many games in the genre. But in Final Fantasy X, there are instances where, you know, grinding will come up at certain points when you want to get certain spells or certain other things to really help you along, and yet you were fine with that. You didn't mind it because of how is it because of how the apparatus was, the fact that it was just so easy to like follow through and to really you know be engaged with it, or was it the story? Like, what is it that really, you know, gets you connected with Final Fantasy X in that way to grind something that you don't get?
I think it's the story, to be honest. Well, story, and also just having people like the streams, pulling off the streams like that is just like I can sit down and for once have time to interact more. Like instead of just like speed running, I have to like have shut up, live split up, and the game up. So it's like 3 things to keep in, like I can actually sit down and engage more. And it's more chill, it's more relaxed. I can take the time to read chat, I can take the time to be interacting, play the game, and have a good time at the same time. So it's just like having sitting at home and having a friend over, but it's just like having more friends over.
Yeah.
Just having a good time with.
That's one of the great things about streaming. So what percentage of your enjoyment of the game would you say is because of Lulu?
Well, if I got to be honest here.
I knew Dark was going to crack up on that.
I'm going to be honest here. There's some good characters in that game.
Lulu is
everybody goes for Lulu. Yeah.
I mean, I got Donna.
Oh yeah, Donna too. Yeah, absolutely.
That's another one.
Yeah. What? Donna is trash to me.
Well, I'm thinking more about the, you know.
Okay.
Dress, you know.
Fair enough.
He's all about that thong.
See, now he gets
Wait, what's Cap? No, if we gonna talk about that, Captain Lucille then. On the Chocobo. Chocobo night.
Like
this is the portion of the podcast where we perv out.
Well, I mean, you guys asked.
That was my fault. I started it. I accept full responsibility.
You really can't not notice Lulu because at the very beginning of the game, or at least when you leave Besaid Island, one of the first things you do, you get into a scripted battle.
Yeah.
And you learn about you learn what Tita's specialty is, Waka's with flying, and then you got the elemental monsters that come up. Guess who has to come in and fight the elemental monsters? Guess what happens? Guess what her victory pose is when you win a damn battle? You got him hanging. Literally, he just bends over. Like, is out there. I'm like, what the hell?
Cleavage Town.
I think there's a clip on my channel now when I was I was in a cutscene. And I was talking to Shad at the same time, and I don't think it was Lulu. I think it was Donna that came in, and I was like sitting there talking. And at the moment when she came in, I was like, stop talking, because I was like, oh damn, I was just sitting there, like, and then somebody clipped that. I was like,
of course they did.
I was like, this is not going to end well.
That's
I
awesome.
might have to delete that clip later on in the future.
That's awesome.
Man,
dude.
but that's Final Fantasy. But there's a lot of outfits like that in Final Fantasy X that you just like stop. You're like, oh,
I think that's also one of the.
We started on Seymour.
I think that's one of the reasons why I can actually chill out with that game like that. Like I can make fun of the game.
Yeah.
And stuff like you can just be silly.
There's some silly stuff in the game too. I mean, everybody knows the Titus laugh, and you know,
that's the beauty with like the casual playthroughs. I just did Ocarina of Time before this one, like as casual. And there's so much stuff like that's why the Mweep stuff.
Yeah, the Mweep is great. That Mweep part of your clip reel, I cannot not laugh at that. I laugh every freaking time. Mweep.
Oh, and then we had that. I got no nuts at all.
I got no nuts at all. That's what she said. That is what she said.
Yeah. So I that's what I like with just the casual part.
Yeah.
Speedrunning is one thing.
Yeah.
But the casual stuff is like you can actually take the time to sit down and.
That's interesting that you're saying that because I've actually been going through some of that thought process myself. Now I don't do randos or speedruns, but you guys know I do retro achievements, and I've been grinding these sets, for a while now, and I love it. It's great, it's fun, but I do find that especially when I'm working on like damageless boss fights and stuff, it's impossible for me to keep up with chat, and that's one of my favorite parts about streaming. So I'm actually looking forward to May coming up because Dark's not going to like this, but I'm looking forward to May when I'm going to put on hold retro achievements for a little while, and I'm going to be playing Knights of the Old Republic, my favorite Star Wars game.
Throw that shit in the trash.
Oh, it's so good. It's best Star Wars game ever.
May the fourth
and then,
with you.
Yeah, and then when I come back, I might be doing some more casual runs games too, because I kind of want to play some Doom 2 after watching Traz from Australia play it. Because Doom 2 is a great game. I bought the Ultimate Collection on Steam, so I got that available to me. So, and there's also, but I'm also wanting to do a Final Fantasy X run, and there's no achievement set for that. So, I could do Final Fantasy X. So there's a lot of things I'm wanting to do casual, just so I can kind of get back to my roots of the chat interaction, just kind of the chill stream, and just kind of go through the game and enjoy the story, enjoy the game, and then move on to something else.
I think that's something you have to do. That you have to take a break from something you've done. Like I did with Rando.
And that's what it is.
Speedrunning, then I went from speedrunning to just casually. I did Ocarina of Time, and then I switched over to speedrunning again, and then I switched over to Final Fantasy X now.
Exactly.
A break from something.
Yeah, just break it up a bit, just so it doesn't get to be so you're pigeonholed into one thing. And that's kind of how I'm feeling with retro achievements. My love for retro achievements is as strong as ever, but I kind of feel like if I keep pushing that grind, I'm not like Frank. Frank could push that grind and do that grind. Maybe it's the grease. I don't know, but he could just do that grind and not get the burnout. But for me, I think I need to take a break every now and then and do something else and then come back to it. And I think that's that's exactly what you seem to be talking about.
Yeah. I mean, you have to do it because it's sooner or later you're going to, like you said before, you miss being able to interact like you normally do.
Yeah.
And that's important. Like you have to go and do something you actually enjoy.
Right.
Otherwise, Twitch you will get burnt out, and you might have to go on a hiatus again.
Yeah, and I just don't want retro achievements for me, and pretty much like you're saying, to become like a job. Feel like I have to do it, and it's just I think it's better to take a little bit of a break, and I'm glad to hear you say that because I feel like a connection with that because I'm feeling some of the same stuff myself.
Yeah.
You feeling burnout? What?
No, not burned out. No, I'm not burned out at all. But what I'm feeling is I feel like I need to shift for a little while to avoid burnout.
Yeah.
That's actually a good idea. Even speedrunners, they'll switch games up from time to time. Because you think about it, especially the ones that are serious about it and they try to go for world records, you're kind of playing, most of the time, if you're going for world record, you're playing the same part over and over.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Nilsson can attest to this as I a little while ago, I really should say about a year now, because I had issues with my setup. I was doing Star Ocean 2. I was speedrunning Star Ocean, the second story.
That game is good, by the way.
Yes. Oh my God, I love it. It's one of my favorite JRPGs. But I was speedrunning Star Ocean, the second story. And if you mess up on one part or get too many random battles, boom, restart. Can't even make it out the first disc. And that's how you can end up burning yourself. No matter how much you love the game, you can end up burning yourself out.
Yeah.
Unless you just got like a huge, at least if you're streaming it, and you got a huge chat with it, and you're constantly got chat going, or you can multitask real well.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, actually. Back in 2019, I did 6 months. That's when I started out speedrun Batman for the Batman the video game for NES. Like literally every day, like pretty much every day for 6 months, I was playing Batman the video game.
Yeah.
Every single day for 6 months, and I was like so burnt out.
Oh, I could see that.
I even had to have a minor surgery in my left thumb because I had a blister that got infected.
Oh wow!
So they had to drain it on fluid.
So you actually suffered an injury, not just burnout. Yeah. Oh wow!
It was the D-pad, the NES D-pad. Even though I don't use an NES controller, I still got you like constantly pressing the D-pad.
Yeah.
DualShock 4. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
That one hurts my thumbs too. I prefer for 2D games. It's an NES controller. That's or one of the 8-bit DOS works really good too. I like the cross D-pad, not the 4 separate buttons, because that does hurt my thumb.
I have to apologize if y'all hear anything coming through my mic. My neighbors are playing music, and it's actually rattling my house. It's summertime, well, not summertime. It's springtime here, which means Bud knows this.
Here too.
Bud knows this. This is by Riverside.
Yeah.
That means music always around here. Somebody's always.
It's all
playing
good,
music.
man. I don't hear it. I don't know if anybody else does. But
I don't hear anything, but if it does, I know. Hey, that happens around here too. Let me tell you. So
it's like see,
I'm familiar. I've been dealing with that before.
Now the thing is, like when I played Batman, I had to take a break because of the injury I had as well, because that was like perfect spot to take a break. Mm-hmm. So that's when I switched over again to like I played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on stream. I was like casual stream. I was like, shit. I had like built this. Alex is a speedrunner now. 6 months only speedruns. Like I had like my channel was growing. I felt like shit. I can push this through. The pain and all that stuff. And I was like, I can do this shit. Like I can carry on. It's dumb. Mm-hmm. And I was like, shit. People are not going to watch me now because I'm doing something differently. And then I switched over to something else. Yeah. And it still went good. So I was like, it's always a consist, like it's a battle,
Yeah. And you don't want to get stuck, like you said, pigeonholed into one thing. Like you didn't want to become Alex the speedrunner or Alex the rando player. Just like I don't want to be Bud the retro achievements guy. Too late. And Dark doesn't want to be Dark the butthole, so
I happily accept my title as the Tales of guy.
The Tales of guy. There you go.
I will take that title to the grave with me.
Yeah.
But that actually it raises an interesting point actually that Alex is bringing here about again, I mean, I don't run a stream, but of course I have many of friends, you guys who run streams, and I guess there's that kind of tug of war between do you run it for the stream or do you run it for yourself in a lot of ways? Like kind of the thing of do you let the audience guide you or do you run what it is? And it's interesting that you bring the point up, Alex, because you said, again, are people really going to follow me? Yeah. If I'm changing over to San Andreas away from my other speedrunning, exploits and stuff. And you found that a lot of people did. So kind of the idea is, I guess, your audience, if they're really into you, they'll follow you. Like, because they're following you for you. They're not following you necessarily, at least a lot of them, necessarily for the game.
I think that's the good part as well. Like if you stream one game for a long time, like I did, people got to the new people that came in the beginning got to know me as a person. Mm-hmm. So they started to know me. Maybe the people at the end tail of it will be like, well, he switched. Fuck him.
Right.
Yeah.
What you'll have. Go ahead.
That happens,
Yeah.
Like that happens with everything. Like you switch from one game to a different game, you grind that game out, and you were like, well, different. They will leave. The ones that want to watch Turtles. Yeah. They will leave.
Right.
And then you get new people from the other game you're playing, and that's going always to happen. But you're always nervous when you switch out.
Yeah. There's always going to be that core audience that you're going to have, your regulars, the people that are there for you, that will be there almost no matter what game you're playing. But there is definitely going to be a segment that is going to be there primarily for the game. It's like, I loved Alex playing Batman. Now Alex is playing The Legend of Zelda, and I don't want to watch that, so I'm going to go watch somebody else. And then they might come back when you go to something else that might intrigue them. But there's always going to be a certain percentage of people that are not going to follow you to the game, but there's always going to be that core that's, you know, just that's the heart and soul, you know, of your audience is the core that's going to be there no matter what, and they're in your corner, and that's, you know, and you treasure those people more. You know, I don't want to say more than other people, excuse me, but you really treasure those people because they're the ones that are really going to support you and get you through, you know, even times when you select a game and your numbers might be down or whatnot. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit of each, and there is always that hesitation. There is always those butterflies when you switch games. I think we all get that.
I think that's like that's natural. It will always be like that. Like whenever you go some like I was going to do now with Final Fantasy X, I went something that's way out of my comfort zone.
Sure.
I was like, I don't like this. Like I was like, I had a bad feeling in my stomach. People were like donating their channel points for watching me play the game.
Sure.
And then something in my head was like, are they actually going to be there? Or are they just doing it, you know, to dump their points in?
Yeah. Well, there's going to be some percentage of that for sure.
Yeah. And I was like, but I was like, I have to I have to bail out to see what happens. You know, I can't be like, hey, I took your points. Fuck you guys. I can't do that. Like, I can't do that.
No, you made a commitment. You make a commitment. You keep it, and that's fair. Yes. And back to that point of, you know, whether the audience is going to follow you or not. There's something that's also, I think, even more important, and that is your enjoyment of what you are doing. And people can tell. I mean, we all have bad days and good days. You know, when we're having a good day, when we're happy, when we're having fun as streamers, people recognize that and they latch onto that and they enjoy that because they want to have fun and they want to be with somebody that's having fun. But if you're really miserable, like if you grind on a game for too long and you let it burn out and you get kind of shitty about the game and you're kind of like just, you know, and they pick up on that too. And it can drive some people away. I always side with, I think it's better if the streamer is happy with what he or she is doing.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. If the streamer's not happy, it's not nobody wants to hang out with you.
And the numbers are going to fluctuate, and that's just, you know, that's just part of it.
Right. Yeah. Now, do you think if it's a game you really, really love, just I'm gonna say, like I said with Star Ocean 2, I really love the game. I played and beat it multiple times. But as a speed running, or if you're speed running it multiple times, do you think it's possible? I hate you.
He saw me look at him. Go ahead.
Do you think it's possible to constantly play the game despite and never get burnt out, or rarely? I can't say never, but rarely get burnt out if you love a game so much from a speedrunner's perspective. Like I said, I did it for a while, but I'm not a speedrunner like in the capacity that you are. So do you think that's possible?
It's possible to never burn out in the game. Like if you're dedicated to the game and it's one of your favorite games of all time, I personally believe that you can never burn out on it. Like if you're dedicated to it, and I think it's part of the thing you said earlier. If there's people active in your chat that loves the game as well, that can share the experience, share the love, I think you can't burn out. I don't think you can do it.
Interesting. I don't know about that. I'm not flat out disagreeing with it, but I think even, you know, for me, and maybe it's different for different people, you know, we all have our own fortitude, our own, you know, our own ways. But you know, even a game I love, I think if I just played nothing but it over and over again, especially if I'm having days where it's just eating me alive, you know, even like with Castlevania 4, that's my favorite Castlevania game. When I was doing those deathless runs, there were times where I was like, fuck this fucking shit. I'm sick of it, you know? But then I got through it and it's like, that all kind of went away, you know?
I think that's also the part you're doing it for achievements.
Yeah.
You're doing like the insane stuff, like deathless.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you're going for something that's out of the normal playthrough, so to speak. You're going for the extra mile.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think that's like you're pushing the edge. You're pushing away the fun part, maybe.
Maybe
if you have to like grind to get better at that part, to get the deathless achievement, for example. I think that's what can bring.
That's a good point.
Fun part.
That's a good point, because I suppose I've never done a speed running of a game, but I suppose if you are speed running, if you get burnt out on one section, you could work on another section, or something like that, and it's all with the same main goal of just getting the time as low as you possibly can. So that's a good point. I didn't think about it like that.
Getting a PB or world record time versus trying to beat this entire game without dying.
Right.
Whereas world record, or at least your personal best, allows for a death.
Because if you're going to do it deathless, you need to learn every single part of the game.
Yeah.
Like every single part. And that something that could actually kill the fun.
No, that's a really good point. No, and I didn't think about it like that until you just said that, and that's an excellent point. Very good. Awesome.
It's just really that state of mind that you bring to what challenge you're having. Like, I just feel that, you know, if we're talking about burnout, like, it's a point where you've just gotten so to like the end of your rope that like you literally just cannot see yourself being able to. I definitely agree with Alex that like there is an essence, like if there's just a lot of things involved in what you have to do, like that could definitely be something that could be a catalyst.
And there's
for you doing something. It could also be a state of mind. Like if you're not really good at handling like frustration very well, it could also be something where, you know, you have somebody that's like, I just don't want to do this.
And that's why
like,
I think,
do it.
that's why I think there's certainly some subjectivity in it. It depends on the person really, and what their constitution is and what their drive is. But it is a really good point that, you know, you got to learn the whole game to do a deathless run. Whereas when you're speed running, I could work on level 1 and get good at level 1, and then I can move on to level 2 and get good at level 2 and so on. So I think there's good points on both sides.
There's multiple ways to speedrun a game. Like Batman, I learned the game by just playing it online. I never did offline in the beginning.
Right.
So I was just playing it through casually, start speedrunning, use the timer, learn the game a little bit more, a little bit faster, a little bit more consistency. Then the real grind started out, for example.
Sure.
And then you oh, go ahead.
No, you can go.
Okay. But then you got their motivation, especially like if you're trying to lower your personal best or something like that. And then, like you said, there's multiple ways to speedrun. You got what's it called? Is it section or split, something like that?
Split, I think.
But it's something like that. But you do different areas.
Yeah.
Of a game like Final Fantasy VIII. So if you're doing speedrunning Final Fantasy VIII, I think it's like a 19-hour, 20-hour game for 100%. So you're doing a split. You do maybe like 2 splits or something like that, or 2 sections. You'll do half of the game one day and then half of the game the other day. You just keep your time out there and then you continue on. Or and then you got the all-in-one segment. That's what it is. Segments. Final Fantasy VII, 100%. I forgot what the world record is, but it can be up to about a 19-hour game if you know exactly what you're doing. And you can sit there and do it in one sitting, but holy shit.
I mean, if you're going to do it in one sitting, if you're going to live, you better be like have people in your chat pushing you to do it, because you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah, you'll sleep stream.
The stream I did yesterday, 11 hours. If I didn't have people in my chat, I would just give up after like a few hours. Like,
11 hours. That's like pushing the longest stream I've ever done. The longest I've ever streamed is 13 hours. Yeah, that's a long stream. 11
That's
hours.
the longest one I did with just sticking to one game. Like my longest one is 12 hours, and that was stream anniversary stream. So that was like multiple games in one. So that doesn't really count like in that way.
Sure. World of difference.
Yeah. So this was like my longest one with one game. I was like, holy shit. When I went offline, I was like, shit. Why did I do this for? Like,
one game, 11 hours. That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You either enjoyed the game or you enjoyed Lulu. I don't know which one, but
let me say it like this. I had to take a cold shower when I was done.
Oh my god. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, this may be our last podcast. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just canceled.
Thank you, Alex, for ruining my podcast. You've been a great guest. I'm just fucking with you, dude. But where do you see yourself going from here? We talked about you're doing the casual thing right now. We kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but what's in the future for Alex and Twitch and gaming in general?
I don't really know. I'm going to jump between casual playthroughs and speedrunning, and when I'm done with Final Fantasy, I will probably jump back to Turtles to get my freaking sub 20 goal I have. On that way. I never got it before. That was the goal. I was going to get it before I jumped over to Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I got pissed off that game the last time I played it. I was like, fuck this game. I'm never touching it again.
Taking the break.
Yep. I need the break now.
Yeah. Where are you at now on that? On the time?
I need to improve 14 seconds, which I can get.
Yeah. Now, to me, that sounds like that's not a lot of time, but in a speedrun term, that's a big chunk of time.
Yeah, especially with the RNG in that game as well, because there's an RNG to get the Technodrome to spawn in the correct hole in the end, and I need
hole one.
Yeah. And that's the one that ruins it for me right now. I need that whole one to improve, and if I can do that, I can save like I think it's almost a minute, to be honest. So.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm just like waiting for it. So
pretty
I'm going to jump between the casual stuff and the speed running. I think I'm done with randomizers for a long time.
For a little bit, for a long time. Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm taking a break for like rest of the year, I think.
Okay.
All right, time for you to play Tales now. Your next RPG has to be Tales.
Well, he said he does one a year, and he's doing Final Fantasy
No. You're gonna play Final Fantasy X.
Here
Or
comes.
if you like Final Fantasy X, I would say you would love Tales of Vesperia as well.
I'm just saying, I'm going to say it like I did to British Duckling, because he was the one that made me play Shining Force 2 last year. I told him, if you gift, like, this was mostly a joke back then. I was like, 50 gift subs. I was like, he's never going to do it. He's never going to do it.
Famous last words, yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Been there.
Like, I'm just waiting for payday, and payday struck, and I was like, is he going to do it or not? And then he asked somebody in chat, say yes or no. And the person said yes. Boom.
Whoa,
I was
dude.
like, well,
never beckon prudish.
I mean, I've done it before, but I'm never doing it.
50 gift subs all at once? Oh, man.
Yeah, all at once. Only to see Shining Force 2.
Like, the rest of that stream was alerts, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think like 30 minutes was just alerts.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I was like, well, I mean, that's off the stream for now, and never play again.
Well, see, I know what I'm going to start doing. You guys want to see me play Adventure Island again? Give me 1,000 gift subs. Yeah.
You guys heard it now.
Y'all
heard that one.
1,000 gift subs.
100 gift subs, and Bud plays Adventure Island. 100.
No,
I don't care what he's talking about. Nope, 100 subs. Bud has to play Adventure Island.
No.
200 subs.
1,000.
Play Adventure Island 2.
British Duckling, are you out there?
Oh,
Actually,
God, what am I
Alex,
getting into?
Some shit,
another
real deep
question,
shit.
actually,
Okay, bring it up.
regarding your alerts.
Yeah.
One of the things I really love about your stream is the dedication to the amount of alerts that you use on your stream.
Yeah.
Some of my favorites are, the goat singing, living on a prayer,
Goat Jovi.
or
Love it.
the one with every time we touch, or something like that. You have so many what is it about alerts for you that you approach it at such a level of having so many funny things? Do you just have a real love for memes, or there's certain things that you just take to it concerning certain types of media? Tell us about it. I'm kind of fascinated about it.
I think it was like I watched Barley, and he had like bit alerts, and I talked with Barley. I was why do you like the bit alerts? It was like give the people something. If they want to spend money on you, let them have something fun with.
Absolutely.
And I've always loved the memes, like always. So I was like, well, what can I do now? Like to bring the stream up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Find the worst memes out there, and really, well, maybe not the worst ones, but like really good ones, and add them to your channel.
That's great.
And just go with it.
Yeah, he mentioned that goat Bon Jovi one, and that cracks me up with the goat screams.
That's always a good one.
Living on a prayer.
I mean, literally on his Discord, when they were doing all the pictures I was telling you about, where they took his pose when he was thinking during one of the streams for Final Fantasy X, and they put the pose of him thinking, and literally one of them was like, "You got to do this. The goats demand it." They literally put like a GIF of the goats like jumping over hay, like doing stuff or whatever. Like it's become a meme unto itself, even about something like that. It's like it's one of those things about it.
Last year I was streaming Shining Force 2. Yes, it was during Shining Force. It was super hot because it was in the middle of summer. It was one of the hottest summers we have had in Sweden for a long time. I had a balcony open, and like outside, you can hear seagulls. So you could hear the seagulls scream. One of my mods, well, he became a mod on my channel now, Eddie. He cropped my face in on a seagull doing like this. The seagulls became a meme together with the goats, and it's just stuck there now.
Gulls and goats.
Yeah. So I think it's mostly like memes now.
That's great. The GG of Alex's stream. The gulls and goats.
It's seriously just amazing.
But going back to that alert you were talking about, the every time we touch gal, I had that one at like 20 bits in the beginning. That was when I played Cuphead for the first time. And I thought, like, nobody's going to spam that one. I was like, 20 bits is enough. And oh boy.
You were wrong. You were wrong.
That was probably
when the hell out of it.
Yeah, it was like I like if you go back and watch those VODs, like I've saved them, but it's just like 20 bits. It's like every time we touch,
bam,
like,
bam, bam. Yeah.
It's just like that's the like my favorite part of the alert. It's just like you can do so much things to your stream to make it more alive.
Right.
And like I just enjoy it. Just seeing people enjoy what you bring to the channel.
It's fun.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's addictive as well, because I know like
literally.
If people want to give me money for watching me play a game, then I want people to get some kind of enjoyment as well.
Absolutely. Very good.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, we got a few viewer questions. So, are you ready for that, or do you guys have anything else you want to
bring it on? Bring on whatever you guys got.
All right, let's.
You heard what the guest said.
We'll do it. You're the boss. All right. So we got one. This one actually comes from one of the mods, MTG Solid. His question is, Alex.
Oh God.
What was your reaction when the first time someone told you that you look like Aaron Paul, aka Jesse Pinkman?
See,
well,
I knew.
The first time was actually from one of my mom's friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it started pre-Twitch.
It was pre-Twitch. It was when I was going in high school, I think.
Damn.
And I just got a haircut, like pretty much the one I have now. And I was like, I took a picture with your phone in the camera. I was like, I want to see how it looks in a better way. I posted on Facebook and was like, got the comment like, damn, I thought it was Aaron Paul first. I was like, what the fuck? Do you know who Aaron Paul is? I was like, that was my first question. I was like, okay, cool. I can live with that. Sure.
There
cool
you go.
compliment, you know? And oh boy. Then I started to like go out on the streets and people came up to me and was like, you look like Aaron Paul. I was like, oh, okay. And the best part was like one time, it was the first time I streamed, like I had a lot of people watching me. Somebody came in and was like, are you Aaron Paul?
Oh, they asked you if you were?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was dead serious.
Wow.
I was like, yeah. I was just like going with it. And
you should have said, yeah, bitch.
I said something like that, and he was like, no way. I'm watching Aaron Paul right now. I was like, should I just tell him that I'm not Aaron Paul, or will he figure it out by himself? Because it became so awkward first, because when you're on it, like when you're outside in the real world, it's one thing, because you can always be like, well, I mean, sure. Right. You can just go around with it, but when you're sitting there and people are like talking to you and you're just like, I can't like move along from the, like, somebody mentioned it.
Right.
So more people will be like, oh yeah, he actually looks like Aaron Paul.
Yeah. And I'm like, then it becomes this whole thing.
How should I react to this? I'm like, well, thanks. Like, I got awkward. Like, it was awkward in the beginning, but I still learned how to.
You kind of latched onto it, though.
Yeah.
Which is good for you. I think that's the best way to handle something like that. You just you own it, and you do. Yeah. The
best memory I have from getting called for Aaron, like being called out for being Aaron Paul, was like 2019. Was during this marathon, speedrunning marathon, ESC marathon. I don't know if you have heard about that one.
Oh yeah, I've heard of ESA.
Yeah. So I was in the hotel lobby. And I was going to go home. Oh, somebody comes from it. Somebody walks up to me in the lobby and was like, "You do know you look like Aaron Paul." I was like, "Man, there's so many people at this event. There's like 500, at least 500 people." And he comes up to me and be like, "You look like Aaron Paul." Like, what is the fucking odds? Like. I was like, just go with it. And then the other night, the last night I think it was, we were drinking a lot of alcohol because it was the last day. Somebody comes up and be like, "Hey, you look like Aaron Paul. Here, take my beer. I will give you my beer because you look like Aaron Paul.
Hell yeah, free beer.
Wait a minute. Was it a new beer or had he been drinking it?
It was a new one. He was going to open it.
Okay.
And it was like, nope.
He didn't hand you like his backwash. Here, you can finish this, Aaron Paul.
It was like, here, take this one and drink it.
That's cool.
I'm like, well, I'm just going to go with it now. Like,
free beer.
I mean, shit, free beer.
Hell yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Unopened.
That's, hey. Maybe if I ever come to Sweden, can I be part of your entourage?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I need free beer myself.
Yeah, let me you say free beer for me as long as my friend here gets a free beer.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. All right, so we got another one coming in from telemarketer Johnson. He says, wait a minute. What is the hardest game you have beaten on stream, and why was it hard?
Oh, I was thinking about that because I actually saw it before. I haven't really decided which one is the hardest one because there's so many games you play. Some games you probably forgot that you actually beat on stream.
Yeah. Well, what is one that stands out to you then, that springs to mind? That was hard.
I think Castlevania 1, because I think that's the one I suffered the most with.
Yeah. I just did the set for that one. That was a hard set.
Yeah. The death fight took a while before I managed to nail it down.
That's in the clip reel.
Yeah,
I've been there.
And then it was actually the actual Dracula fight. Because when you're new and you've never played it before, it's just like, how the fuck am I fighting this guy?
Right.
Like, there's no way.
Yeah. It's hard the first time you beat it, and then you could kind of figure out how to beat Dracula, and it's not so hard. But then you have to do it damageless, and then it's like, it's hard all over again.
Yeah, like, but I have to say, it's like the most beautiful feeling in the world, beating the game. Mm-hmm. Because when you actually suffered through the game, and you beat it, it's just like, I managed to beat the fucking game. Like, I was like, I wanted to cry that day.
Yeah, it's that huge weight.
Understandable.
Yeah, I wanted to cry that day. I was I'm finally done with it.
Yeah. Look, I'll even admit it. I use save states when I beat Castlevania 1.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I can't blame you for doing that.
You know, I no shame in save states as far as I'm concerned. You know, I
it
know
was
speedrunners
the
use
Medusa room.
Yeah.
The Medusa, not the Medusa herself, but near, I think going towards, is it Death? You got the fucking floating Medusa heads in the armor at the bottom. Yeah, all right. So going there,
that hallway.
You have the Axe Knights throwing axe. You have Axe Knights throwing axes high and low. And then you have Medusa heads along with them in that parabolic flight pattern that they do.
Yep.
Yes.
And you got to dodge all that.
Yeah. By the time I got to Death, I'm already dead.
Right.
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, that room's the hardest room in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that room.
Yeah, everybody.
I mean, the room, you know, with all the birds dropping down, well, not birds, but, you know, the birds coming in, dropping down the fleaments.
Yeah, that's right before Dracula.
You know what? You know when you're doing that, like the first time you actually do that room, and you'll be like, "What the fuck did I actually? Am I actually like? Is this real life? Like, why?"
I'm changing my answer. That's the hardest room.
Yeah.
That's annoying too.
Yeah,
like a really hard room.
Yeah. All right. Very cool. Very cool.
The best is when that orb, I'm telling you, the best feeling is when that orb drops at the end of the game after you beat it. You have such a, I think when it happened for me the first time I beat the game, I literally gave out the biggest sigh.
Yeah.
I've ever given. That was just like, I did it.
I just realized one more game that I could probably put up there together with Castlevania. That's probably Mega Man 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mega Man games are tough.
Well, that definitely has its moments, yes.
Like the end part of Mega Man 4, I hate that part of the game. I was like, no fucking way.
Oh, in the Wily stages?
Yeah, I was just done. I was tired. I was like grumpy. I was like, did have a good time with that game. I was like, fuck me. Like, just let me be done with my life. Like, just live again. Let me have fun.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing of those Mega Man games where you had the guy who you thought was the villain, and you're going through his stage. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. Now you have to go fight Wily over here. He has his own fortress over here. So it's like, God, and just when I was thinking I was getting near the end now, and now we got now it's Wily. And then they did that for like a few other games. It's like, come on, guys. We already know who the villain's really going to be.
I'm definitely
going to need the big reveal.
Mega Man 4 and Castlevania 1.
Nice.
Like the hard ones.
Very interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we got one last question from the tired guy. He asks, "What is the most embarrassing moment you've had on a stream?"
Ooh.
I think everybody knows this.
Say it anyway. Say it anyway.
Okay, so back in the day when we did DGDS.
Oh shit.
Oh boy. So I had an incentive. Of course, it was British Duckling that did it again. I had to sing the duck song.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh yeah,
I remember that.
I remember.
We gave you so much shit for that for like 2 or 3 months after that too.
Yeah, and that's
Waddle.
most embarrassing moment
duck song.
on Twitch.
Yeah, waddle.
And hey, got any grapes?
Got any grapes?
I had to suffer through. I had to suffer through so much shit for the next 6 months with just the ducks. And I was so tired of it because it was like every single time I did something, it was the duck song, the duck song. Can you do the duck song?
Yeah.
Can you? Like I couldn't do anything on Twitch.
It literally got to the point where literally I would jokingly say, "So Alex, are we going to do the duck song?" You would look at me like, "Gal, don't stop it or I'm going to ban you."
I was super close to just like stop streaming at one point because of that.
Was it that bad? Yeah.
It became so exhausting to hear. Like, you do one thing. Sure, it was like I'm always grateful because I did that thing.
A joke runs its course, and it gets to the point where he's like, I don't want to hear it anymore. I got a couple like that.
I eventually dropped it because I saw that it was bothering Alex so much. I'm like, I'm not going to do that anymore because he was really not enjoying it at all.
I actually think I think it was one of the RBPs one. I think the first one we just had to change name and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually had to quit my one of my segments earlier because there was too much duck song talking. Yeah. So I was like, I have to cut it. Bring in the next person. I can't do this.
You just couldn't deal with it anymore.
I couldn't do it because people were like, "Are you going to do the duck song?" And I was like, "Dude, it was like 6 months ago. Let me just continue."
Yeah, check it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Like it was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I do other stuff. I actually play video games.
Right.
Like,
I think chat sometimes they latch onto a meme and it becomes part of the culture of a channel or something like that. Yeah. And then it can wear on a streamer, and it's kind of hard for them sometimes to know when it's gone a little too far. And I don't know that you could really even blame chat for that. It's just one of those things that happens, and I was guilty of it too. I mean, I would come in all the time, and be like, "Got any grapes?"
I think it was more. I was more okay with it when it came from people I actually knew instead of new people coming in. Oh, I saw this clip of singing the duck song. Blah, blah, blah. Can you do it? Like, I don't even know you. You're not even following the channel.
The rapport.
Why should I do it? I was like,
well, yeah, because what happens is it stops being about like just slapping by the meme. It's like, oh, could you do this? Like I'm not a prop, sir.
Right.
Like I'm not just someone who's just gonna, like playing something over. Like, I could definitely see where that could get very like dehumanizing in a way. It's very like pushing you down. Like you're not here for me. You're here just so I could do a little pet trick for you.
Sure.
Yeah, it was like a cheap, party trick. Oh, look at this, Alex! I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, if you dance, monkey dance.
Once something becomes a meme, it does kind of get hard to transcend that or to shed that. Yeah. There's a couple of that go on my channel, but I kind of decided a long time ago with stuff like that. I'm just going to just roll with it, but it's not always easy, and sometimes things, especially with something like that, it was a part of a charity event, and because I get sick of the shirt thing too, but it's like, it's not that big a deal to me. Okay, every time I got to tell the shirt story. Okay, fine, whatever.
Well, I mean, at least you didn't sing on stream.
No. At least I didn't actually take my shirt off. Then it would never hear the end of it. But I feel you, man. I get it, dude.
To be fair, both the clips of me singing duck song and you almost ripping your shirt off, they're gone, so nobody can actually see it now.
Well, that's true, because they were part of that channel, so...
That's the internet, buddy. Somebody got it.
It's just, somebody's got it.
Probably someone did download it somewhere, I suppose.
But it's something that's still in the...
Given what you just talked about, I totally understand. It's like, you know what? Let it rest in peace.
It's just one of those things that's in the zeitgeist, for me, for my thing, and I don't let it bother me too much, but like you said, it's different than having to sing a song. That would probably be, I would probably get sick of that pretty quick too. So I definitely
if somebody
understand.
came in and mentioned it now, that's like 2 years ago now. Like,
Well,
I'm
yeah.
okay with it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so long back in the past now. Like, yeah, sure, I did it.
Yeah, the
Carry
wound's
on.
not fresh anymore, or not the wound. That's maybe the wrong imagery,
Yeah.
but it's you've had enough time to distance yourself from it between when it was like the hot thing that people were bugging you about all the time, and then now when it might be a random one-off. Hey, you got any grapes? Yeah, whatever. You know, that.
You
kind
know
of,
what?
I can even sing a little part of it. But got any grapes? You know, like just to make me even more fun of it.
So it's gotten to the point now where it's kind of almost been put to rest, and it's still one of those things you can laugh about now and kind of look back on.
Definitely.
That's good.
I can laugh about it.
That's healthy, I think. Yeah.
If anything, Alex, to make you feel better, before you brought it up as your embarrassing moment, I was actually in my head thinking, because I remember there was something about it, I did not even remember what it was called before you said what it was. So if it makes you feel better, it was so even removed from me that I couldn't even recall beyond an image. So if it gives solace to it, I want to at least tell you that shows how far it was even from my mind.
Like,
I remember the thought, not even the name.
I didn't even remember the thought. I forgot it all.
That's the only thing that's being super embarrassing. I think the only thing that could be embarrassing is it's not embarrassing in that way, but I got shit faced one time, like super drunk on stream during New Year's Eve. We did a party stream with Jackbox for I don't know how many hours.
Oh yeah,
those are always fun. Yeah.
And I got so drunk that apparently I might have offended somebody. At least there was rumors about it, and I had to go back the other day and delete the whole VOD because I was like, we should probably not.
Yeah, you couldn't even be sure because you couldn't remember. It's like I don't know, so it's like
Yeah, so I was like, well, we had to delete that. So that's another one of those, you get so shit-faced, I didn't do that.
That's kind of fun, but there definitely can have embarrassing moments when that kind of thing goes on. I know.
The one with Frank, the podcast last
Well, I wasn't even thinking of that. I was just thinking of some of the DGDS and even RBPs that I participated in when I got a little too well, maybe not RBP. I think I got over that by then. But so a couple of the DGDSs I got a little bit too inebriated. The first one I did, and then there's probably another one that I can't really think of. But yeah.
No, but there's definitely been embarrassing moments. I mean, we all have them.
Yeah,
it's natural. So.
It's part of being human. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we got one more viewer question that just came in while we were talking. This one's from McJanitrol. He asks, which game do you know deep in your heart is trash, but you love it anyway in defiance of all logic?
Oh my God, that's actually good. There's some games that I consider trash. Well, I mean, I know it's trash. But it's just is it real trash?
But you love it.
Mission Impossible 6. Oh, well, Mission Impossible for the N64. It's trash. It's dog shit. Everybody knows that. I still love it. I still play it. I grew up with it.
Okay.
I grew up with the Nintendo 64 version and the PlayStation 1 version. Yeah. And the game is trash.
Right.
It's glitchy. The controllers are bad.
Yeah.
They are clunky. There's bad voice acting. It's bad.
Yeah.
But it's just
nostalgia bias can definitely make us look at a game with the rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things, I think. Yeah.
At the same time, it's it is real bad. But at the same time, it's just there is more worse games out there.
Sure.
So it's you can't like you said, you get biased.
All right. Well, it's for me, it's it's the Grinch on the PS1.
Oh my God, yeah, I've played that before. So.
I haven't played that one.
It is hot garbage. The shit slows down.
Yeah,
it's a bad take on the actual Grinch. It came after the Grinch cartoon.
Yeah,
the one made by Dr. Seuss and them.
Okay.
It's a bad take after that. You go on this mission to collect all your blueprints because they got blown away from the mountain. And you want to stop Christmas because, the Grinch, why not, right? But on the very first level, the game is so bad you can fall through the floor.
Yeah.
You can just walk and fall right through. And then you just sit there. You don't die. You don't get to start over. You just sit there. The game doesn't have a function to return you back to last known solid point. So you just vote, and then you got to start the game over. There's one area where you get on a pole, you got to try to jump and grab a blueprint. It is so off. The geometry is so off. You can never get up on there. Or you can, but it's very hard to do. Dude, that game is so fucking bad, but I fucking love it. I play it every year. I fucking love it.
There you go.
It's a tradition to me.
Something about the atmosphere of it that just the nostalgia, right?
Yeah,
I feel a little bit bad with Mission Impossible 64, well, the N64, Nintendo 64 version. I gave it, like Frank mentioned him earlier. I put it on his poll so he could badge the game, and I feel a little bit bad
because I was going to talk about. I know when I remember him playing that. I didn't know it was you that put that on him. That's great. Yeah,
and he played the game.
Oh, he bitched about it the whole time too.
He was so pissed.
Oh yeah,
especially with the last achievement in that game.
Yeah,
he was so.
Was
pissed.
it the one where he was
the one you had to jump on a truck?
No, it was like when you had to do the whole sniper thing on the train station.
You have to kill every single one without any of them hitting Ethan or anything. So you have to do the entire thing. And you have to anticipate, basically. And he learned how to anticipate every single one of the shooters. And then at the very end, Ethan's like going back and forth, like getting caught in like one of those like AI traps where it's like going back and forth, like next to the entrance of the train. And at some point he just literally yells, and it was in my head too. He literally yells, "Ethan, get on the fucking train." And then he finally got on there, and then Chivo popped. He's like, "Thank you, God."
God.
He was not happy.
No. I had trouble watching him play it. Even he was playing when I happened in on when he was playing Mission Impossible. He was doing. I don't know what the achievement was, but it was this level where he had to. There was this tall shaft that he had to descend down on a wire, and there were lasers. Yeah, the laser alarm that he had to avoid. And I watched him play that for maybe 20 minutes or so. Then I'm like, I'm gonna go.
It was actually one of the
few
missions in that game that actually were part of the actual movie.
Yeah, right.
So that's like the only part of the actual game.
Okay, that is actually ties in with the movie, and that happened to be the part I caught.
Everything else is like not related to the movie.
Just its own thing.
It's just like
that's the thing. Sometimes with those video games based on movies, a lot of times, like you get a lot of them where they go in like different directions of what they're doing. It's like, yeah, this wasn't in the film. This wasn't in this sort of way. Like that's one of those things that I always found kind of interesting when you played them, that like a lot of times they add these things that you're just like, come on, don't you want to make it kind of where it was in the film? I mean, isn't it supposed to be based on where it is that it puts you in the scenarios of what you watched?
Right.
In that way, like why would you make me go through these different things to the get-go?
Always such a disappointment when they made games like that. Yeah.
Well, apparently Infogrames that made a game didn't have the rights. Title made
that's true.
Movies. So they just like basically just like made a whole new movie and cut one scene into the game that was part of the movie. Like this Mission Impossible, the one you just watched at the theaters.
Yeah.
Like,
but sometimes sometimes you could take a franchise though. You doesn't have maybe not a game based on the movie, but you could take a game that is in a franchise like Knights of the Old Republic, and you could make its own story. And no, I'm just saying, but you can make it its own story, and it could be its own thing, and it could become, I don't know if it's technically considered canon, but I consider it canon. But yeah, you can make something very beautiful, and it can have nothing to do with any of the movies, even. But
what part of that game is beautiful?
Huh?
What part of that game is beautiful?
The beginning, the middle, and the end.
None. All right, got it.
So basically nothing.
Yeah,
right.
Basically everything. Alex, you're banned.
The whole franchise can go on the trash.
Both of y'all are banned.
But to get to your point, though, I mean, I do agree that you can do other stories. Like you don't have to necessarily be stuck in the continuity of either films or TV shows or anything that you necessarily base on. But like if you name it absolutely after the film, like you're clearly making it clear that there. Like I kind of feel that kind of limits you. I know that there's licenses and all manner of things that limit you to like how far you could go with that sometimes. But like if you're going to do something new, then you make it clear, like Knights of the Old Republic. I mean, clearly that's its own title. So clearly it's going to be like its own thing, whatever you do with it.
I know, and I know the point he was making too. I just wanted to talk about KOTOR. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, of course, because you just love to ring us through like every time when you're doing this.
About it. Oh man, I got to be me.
Yes, Alex. Yes.
No, that's why we love Bud. He does all this weird shit, and
Bud is Bud.
I'm trying to figure out who this we is.
Oh, you wouldn't be here, Dark, if you didn't like that.
Ouch! Oh, he knows he loves me. We got more. We got another viewer question going on. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to add to this?
I don't really have anything.
Okay, Prudish Duckling. Yeah, Prudish Duckling asks, who would win in a fight? Who would win in a fight? Remy from Ratatouille or Stuart Little?
Stuart Little.
Oh, Stuart Little putting a pause on Remy. What you mean?
Stuart Little.
Stuart Little is whooping Remy. I don't care what nobody got to say. Remy is getting beat
He's
up.
putting Remy through the ringer.
Well, I mean.
What are we talking about when we're looking at these two films? I mean, Remy's busy making like food dishes, and
porridge.
Stuart Little is doing like there. I mean, if you're basing it on there, I think Stuart Little would be the one to come right on the top of that.
I get it.
Right?
Well, we can talk about their lifestyles too. Think about it. Stuart Little's a mouse. Remy's a rat.
Oh yeah.
If you look at things, I mean, Stuart Little had a car as well.
But Stuart Little did have a car.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Okay. It would run over Remy, so I mean.
I'm going with Stuart. I'm still going with Stuart Little. Sorry.
I have no opinion on this. I'm just going to put that out there. Oh boy. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Oh goodness, we got another viewer question came in. Yeah. Pulse Frank, the greasy bastard, asks, why does Alec use exclamation FSU so much?
I'm allowed to say it, bud.
Oh.
What the FSU stand for? Can I say it?
I don't care. I mean, unless it's going to get me in a TOS violation.
No. Okay. Frank, shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can say that all you want. Yeah, Frank, shut the fuck up. Yeah,
no, Frank, the reason why he does is because you're a greasy boob. Okay.
Yeah, a greasy boob.
No, seriously, the whole thing started with I was playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Frank came in, said, Alex, you can't drive for shit in this game. I was just like, Frank, shut the fuck up. And Travis was like, clipped.
Oh, yeah, that's where it came, yeah.
And since then, he was like, nope. He made a command in his channel. He sent the file to me.
Uh-huh.
He's like, you're going to use this sound effect in your channel. I was like, okay, sure. And then Travis went over to Frank's place, put it on his computer, so I can use it on his channel as well.
So he put it on Frank's channel.
Yeah. So it's just it's only me that can use it on Frank's channel.
Oh, but he set it to where it's only for you? Oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
So Travis said that's the best thing I've ever done on Twitch, except the slap.
Oh, the slap is great. Everybody loves the slap. Yeah. Very good.
He was like, I'm a proud father of that. Frank, shut the fuck up.
The proud father of shut the fuck up. Frank. That is fantastic. That's fantastic. All right, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. But it has been a ton of fun talking with you guys. Let's go around and do some final thoughts. We'll let Alex have the last word since he's the guest. So we'll start and go clockwise with Captain Dark. Any final thoughts for Alex or questions or anything you want to say?
Don't you ever interrogate me again.
I mean, Captain Dark.
Now you know.
I can tell you that much, that I will not be doing that, since I'm not doing any charities quite yet, at least.
Yeah.
I play weird ass games, but no, seriously,
I know.
You're a good guy. I do enjoy your content. I appreciate that you managed to get through so much through both charity events. And I hope you get your time in Turtles.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dory. I mean, I'm gonna say the same thing. I appreciate the hell out of you as well. So even though I maybe interrogated you a little bit too much. So,
nah, you're good.
It's all in good fun.
No, I'm just not giving you shit about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right,
Alex, where can I possibly start from? I'm usually, when it comes to these kinds of things, sometimes I go all over the place. So I try to keep myself grounded from, all the kinds of things that I could say. But, we're across the world from each other, yet I feel like as if we've known each other for so long.
Yeah.
I've really gotten to know you through all the games that we enjoy together, that we really have grown up loving and appreciating. But then it turned into a real, I feel, a kind of lifelong friendship. that is just about sharing just in our jokes, in our humor, and just in our outlook on life, on not taking things too seriously and just enjoying the moment for what it is. And I'm glad that we had this kind of opportunity where we're here talking and we're here sharing in that time. And I hope that I have all the best in your streaming endeavors as you go forward, and I hope to continue sharing that with you, brother.
Well, thank you, Gal. I like you said, I couldn't say it better than you did. So I mean, I appreciate the hell out of you, Gal. You always been there supporting from the beginning, pretty much from the beginning at least. So I see you as a brother as well. So thank you, Gal.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll go now. Alex, man, I'm gonna mirror what everybody else has been saying and say, man, you're a brother. To me, you have been a friend to me since my very beginnings on Twitch. We started a month apart. I think not even a month apart. I think we started maybe 3 weeks. I started and then you started in, and then from there, we did the charity events together. We've just been lifelong friends. You're an absolute sweetheart. I love you to death, and I love your content. I love your humor. I love everything you do. And you're an amazing person, and that is what she said. And and I don't know what else. I don't know where else to leave it. That meme right there, that will forever be my favorite clip on Twitch. Is you saying, "This is a terrible seed." That is what she said. That is what she said. And I will treasure that always. And I want to say thank you for that. And thank you for being an awesome dude, man.
Well, Bud, thank you so much yourself. Like you said, I love you to death, Ben. And thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
Oh, anytime, man. Anytime. And anytime you want to come back, we can make that happen.
Like you said, with the, I'm pretty happy that you did the whole clipping with the, that is what she said.
Yeah.
Otherwise that wouldn't exist. And I think that's one of my favorite ones as well.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite clips. So,
it's a classic.
No, but honestly, thank you guys for having me on the podcast. It's been lots of fun just sitting here bullshitting, even though Captain Dark over there is like, interrogating me and stuff like that. Throwing a little bit shade there, but no, it's been a lot of fun, and no, but seriously, I hope for everybody else in here, good luck in the future, and
thank you. Same to you, man.
We're gonna kick ass.
We've been kicking ass, and we will continue to kick ass. And one last thing, Alex, do you have any words for the people watching?
No, just I'm a weird Swede, so I mean, I'm just gonna say it like this: support this channel, Captain Dark's channel, and everyone in BCTV's one, and everybody knows where they can find me. So if you guys want to support me, and I appreciate that as well. So
definitely,
that's it.
Definitely. All right, guys, it has been an absolute pleasure. This podcast has been one of the most rewarding things that I have ever done on Twitch or in my life, period, just because I get to know and get to know better awesome people like NilssonAlex and the guests that we've had previously and the guests going forward. I look forward to doing many, many, many more of these. Everybody at home watching, I love you all. Take care. Thanks for watching the podcast. It'll be up on YouTube and all the podcast platforms tomorrow if you're just catching us or if you want to just listen again. But until then, we'll see you next week, and take care, everybody, and have a great week.
Peace out.
Bye now.